We're on.
All right, cool.
Hello, everyone. I know that we just stopped talking as soon as we were on.
All right, so this is our very first podcast. It doesn't even have a name yet, but that's okay. So what's this podcast going to cover for the most part? Anything and everything, right?
Anything and everything. And no holds barred unless you want to hold the bar, in which case you're good.
I mean, it's going to center around jiu-jitsu, but it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to jiu-jitsu.
I mean, yeah, it's just the fact that I'm a jiu-jitsu player. That's where I drop it at, right?
Yeah.
If there's people, I mean, if jiu-jitsu things come up, I will talk about jiu-jitsu, but like IBJJF rules, I'm down with that. But
Okay.
You want to talk about the IBJJF rules?
I do
Are we
not.
on?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
just started, buddy.
How many
Put your phone
times-
down.
we-
Put it on
this
silent.
is
Let's
the
stop
second-
asking
This is
questions.
the second
We're
time.
talking.
Let's stop asking questions and let's talk. Let's have fun. Let's explore. Stop asking, what are we going to talk about? Dude, no.
All right, so
Just
what's on your mind,
lead the
Carlos?
way.
What's on your mind?
All
buddy?
right, my friend here has a Mortal Kombat shirt
That's it.
from the 80s or
As
90s.
everybody can see, right?
80s or 90s.
I can see it.
All right, so our first topic is IBJJF rules. All right.
I was actually gonna say that our first topic should be something like
My shirt.
Carlos's shorts.
It's too bad. It's too bad this.
I have to look.
It's too bad this isn't on video. So that way we can show how short
I'll get
Carlos'
up on the
shorts
table
are.
and show my shorts.
No,
but
we're
Yeah,
not recording
to
this
who?
yet.
To
Yeah.
who?
to the world
We-
if it was on video.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
but this is the limitation of having a podcast.
It's
Well,
okay.
like one
It's
of the
okay.
only
We'll
ones.
get there. We'll get there.
Man, when we hear this, we're gonna laugh so hard at each other.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna do that.
So
Jenny will not laugh. She will hold her laugh there. And he'll come.
At
So
what point-
Bagel laughs first or something.
at what point did you decide, hey, you know what? I'm done with normal shorts. I'm done with cargo shorts. Short shorts is the way to go. At what point in your life did that? I mean, what was the?
Was it a low point or was it a high point? That's what we want to know. Was it at a point where you're like, you know what?
I can imagine like a 13-year-old Carlos with cargo shorts and you know things to put in them in those extra pockets, you know.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 pockets on those cargo shorts.
Okay, first of all,
Go.
I don't wear cargo shorts.
Now,
yeah,
I don't
why?
doubt it.
Yeah, but 13-year-old Carlos did.
I did.
Right? So, we want to know the transition. What
Well,
made the
I
decision?
was 13 in what year? 2007. So I would put on a PSP, what do you call it? A Nintendo,
A Nintendo.
an MP3 player. Those things were in my pocket.
Okay, but
Okay.
at what point did you make the switch? Like, you know what? From now on,
Okay.
sky's
So-
out, thighs out.
You were the guy who motivated me to wear short shorts.
I'm not surprised.
Because look at him right now. Look at how tight those shorts are on Frankie.
These aren't even short shorts.
Are they
but
They're
circulating your
definitely
blood?
not. Those are like normal shorts.
these are dad shorts, you know,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
anything.
That's
But
because
at some point, you're right. At some point, I did wear short shorts a
you
lot.
did, and you folded them.
You folded your short shorts?
He folds
I
these
guess I
short shorts.
did.
I don't know why you haven't folded them yet.
I just ran over here in a
Alright.
hurry.
He didn't have enough
So-
time to fold the shorts.
Here's the deal about shorts, in my opinion.
Go.
We are in 2019. If you wear long ass dickies, just block me.
Okay.
Just
That's
block
a
me
little
from
aggressive.
Instagram.
This is your sentiment on shorts. So if you wear.
If you wear dickies, long ass shorts,
You gotta stand for something.
just block me.
So what do you feel about women's capris? They're like long shorts or short pants.
Capris are they're
Short pants?
Women can do that. I
Why?
feel like women can do that
No.
because it looks good on them.
they're not technically shorts. They're shortened pants.
What about the capri shorts that go down to your like knee almost? Those are long shorts.
I would still consider those pants.
Shorts are pants then.
So yeah, it becomes a gray area. It's a gray area. Okay, but let me ask you this: guys in capris, yes or no?
Oh man.
Hell no.
I think it's one of those things where like
But you know what?
like
Soccer
there's
players
like
have that.
there's like certain people that have a status that can pull off things, right? And then you'll see like Alvaro, you know, he constantly tries to pull off things that are kind of weird, and and in particular, I'll see like there are certain people. Like I feel like if somebody that I thought was cool was wearing capri shorts, you know, I would be like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I would consider myself to be in the wrong in this situation.
All right.
no, I hear that. Like the black belt who would wear, what do you call it, fanny packs. At one point, fanny packs was like a fashion faux pas. You know, you don't do it. But are you gonna tell the black belt world champion not to wear fanny packs? That it's not cool? That it's not okay?
No, I would not tell him that.
Maybe you'd reconsider your life and like
Yeah.
in relation to fanny packs.
You know, it's just
So?
it's like, why am I not wearing a fanny pack? This guy's obviously successful.
He's wearing fanny packs and he's good with it.
You know, the people that have always worn a fanny pack and like they never stopped even when it wasn't cool because of how convenient it was. And then it came back in style. And now these people are like really cool because they got like these like really old like fashion patterns on their fanny packs. It's like they went to the Grand Canyon and they got a fanny pack there. And it's like the coolest like thing that they always have with them.
Yeah.
So I would not be, to bring it back around, I would not be opposed to wearing capris, personally. I just haven't found where to buy any.
You know, that's how I feel about tattoos. like I like tattoos, and I really have constantly thought about getting one, but I just don't have any. Like I don't have the big desire to get one, so I haven't gotten one. But I would. I'm not against it at all.
I told myself when I reach purple belt, I'll get a jiu-jitsu tattoo, because that's the only tattoo I would get, like, that would be meaningful. Like, I don't want to get something that says, like, smile now, cry later, or live, laugh, love, something stupid, you know? But, you know,
you're gonna get your mom's countertop tattooed on yourself.
I'm just saying, like I always told myself, I'm gonna get like jiu-jitsu and kanji symbols or bushido in kanji symbols. But then I got my purple belt and I was like, you know what? I'm good without a tattoo, you know? So
I just wish that I could find something cool enough. Something that I think represents me so much. That whenever I look at it, it's me. This is
and
me.
then you could permanently put it on.
And then I would put it on me.
Permanently.
This represents me.
So how many tattoos do you guys have?
I have 0 tattoos. But you know how many tattoos I want to have? A lot.
One leads to the next one, and the next one leads to the other one.
That's what I hear about drugs.
Very true.
Which is true, actually. I can attest that for sure.
So I also have 0 tattoos.
Man, so we're really speaking from inexperience here then.
Yeah, I wish that.
How many do y'all have?
I have 0.
Everybody has
Carlos?
0.
4?
What?
do you
Oh
have?
yeah,
Tell
Carlos
us.
does have tattoos.
Tell us.
God.
Tell us real quick.
I
Tell
knew
us-
where this conversation.
Just tell us how
I
many.
didn't know you had tattoos.
Tell
though.
us
It's like, you gotta show us.
which one of your start from stupidest to best. All right, so there's the kanji /
This was my first one.
So okay, so the first one is a little tornado thing,
The hurricane symbol.
or I mean, I call it the 6997.
Okay.
Okay.
My second one was right here in my chest. My third one. My last one. This one hurt.
So which was the best one?
The 4th one. The last one.
No, it's this one.
What is it? What does it say?
Wait, explain it to the
doesn't
people who are listening.
I'm not gonna explain it.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
All right.
That's
well,
where that ended. Okay.
Moving on. All right.
No, let's back
So-
to shorts.
All right, here's a question. Hold
All
on.
right, no,
Go.
go with the
Short shorts or long shorts, Miguel?
short shorts.
The short
Frankie.
shorts. They're called shorts, not longs. You know, so shorts.
Janet, Short shorts or long shorts?
Long shorts for women. Not I don't know. I don't care what men.
For
wear.
men. For men.
Oh, I don't care.
Let me ask you this: what did you think about Miguel in those short shorts that I let him borrow that one day?
What did I think about him?
They're upstairs, by the way.
Because I saw the way you
Did you
looked at
find
him.
him more attractive or less
I
attractive?
saw the way you looked at him. And I was all the way with him.
Oh, how did I look at him?
That's a crazy look.
Dripping.
Dang. Well, I guess I love them.
There you go.
All right.
Short shorts it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Why? Miguel can wear whatever he wants.
2019
And he's on.
short shorts. If you wear long shorts, delete me.
But
I like that you made yourself harder to hear.
but capris.
did, right?
Yeah.
but capris, delete or not
No,
delete?
not delete.
Not delete.
Capris and guys are okay.
Only if they're Adidas capris.
Those are warm up shorts pants.
Nope.
I'm talking about
What,
We're
what are
talking
you
about jean shorts.
the jean short capris.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
you know what a capri looks like?
Not on
No,
guys.
their capris can also not be denim. They can be something
But
else.
Thank you.
typically they're denim, but they could be a denim like material.
Because I have a lot of capri pants that are workout pants that are not denim. And then I do have some denim
Look,
capris.
these are capris. Okay. These are capris like that. That's the typical capri that a lady wears.
Yeah,
And
not for guys.
guys will wear them too. I've seen this one black belt wear capris, and I'm like, that's a cool guy.
Wow.
You know, like
Yeah.
because
But
he's
okay, so in this situation, is the capri the thing that's adding to the cool, or is the guy, making those things cool? Does the guy have like the Midas touch where he's making things cool as he's touching them, or is the things that he's wearing making him elevate his status?
you threw a lot of options at me.
Yeah.
There's only
I'm gonna put it. To you like this, okay? This guy, he's older. Seems like he doesn't fuck around. Okay, are we cussing or not?
I mean,
If
you
you
can
want
if
to.
you want to.
Okay, all right. He doesn't mess around. Okay, and he's wearing capris, and it's like, are you gonna disagree with him? No, I like it. I don't know. That's the way it comes
So
across.
I
to
mean,
me.
in this situation, would those capri and somebody else look any different?
Like if it was somebody who, so like if it was like a Chad or Kyle, yeah, I probably wouldn't agree with it as much, I guess.
So in this situation, then what we're actually talking about is that this guy's status makes those capri better. The capris themselves are not good, but him using them are good.
I guess that's what we're saying. Huh? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so in that case, I'm over capris now. See what you guys think.
I just don't think there's much of an offering for capris for guys. I don't know. You just don't see them
The
too
market
much.
is not really big.
Yeah.
I wonder how many capris for guys are selling a year.
I feel like that could be a good business venture
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
opportunity.
to make them popular.
Yeah, you would do like 15 a year.
Sponsor some jiu-jitsu athletes, and bam, you'll be selling, I don't know, 50 capris a year or something. I don't know. What's a good number to sell to be successful?
Well, what's
in
funny-
Capris, any number is good. Any number above 0, you're making money.
It was a success.
All right, cool. So shorts, with shorts, there's a gray area. I think we've covered that. Short shorts are good, but then you start getting into capris, and it starts getting gray.
That's why we have to figure it out. Are they good or bad?
I mean,
So like,
how much deeper can we get into shorts? Can we get into the fiber count?
All right, here, let's move on then, because we can beat that.
Carlos's shorts, great topic.
All right, yeah, I guess that went into a tangent there.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that I have written down here in the talking hat, Thomas Edison or Tesla?
Man, I should have read up. I told myself I was going to read up.
You know what?
I am familiar with them though, but just not as much as I'd like to be.
I mean, how much do you know because of popular media?
Thomas Edison, I'll say this much. Thomas Edison comes across to me more like a entrepreneur. That's not the word I'm looking for.
I think that's a good word to describe that.
More opportunistic. Like, after that, trying to make money, where Nikola Tesla was more of a humanist. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so Nikola Tesla was trying to advance humanity.
Yeah. So a lot of his stuff, he just put it out there. And it's like, hey, here's these designs for free energy or something. Where Thomas Edison was like, I'm going to patent the light bulb. Or
I'm going to patent things that don't belong to me. I'm going to steal them and make them mine.
Hey, I think he did a lot of good work, guys. I would not talk down on Thomas.
Don't you about Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison, it's so crazy because I was so, everybody was so down with Thomas Edison for a really long time.
Right.
When I was a kid, everybody loved Thomas Edison. And, and then now we're like, we hate him. He's the establishment. Thomas Edison.
It's true. It's true.
Thomas Edison represents everything we hate.
I think.
You mean electricity?
I think with the Tesla car company coming out, maybe it shined more of a light on Nikola Tesla, but he's definitely underrated.
What do you think, Carlos? I mean, what do you have of this kind of information?
Thomas Edison made the light, right?
Made the light bulb.
Light bulb.
Yes.
He didn't make light.
No.
So.
I mean, what do you know?
No. I know what each represents and what they make. I know. But if we want to talk about something similar, Edison, in that time, made something new, something that people hadn't seen. The future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tesla did the same thing with cars, in a way. Don't you think that?
Yeah, I mean, they both came out with a lot of ideas.
Inventos.
But Thomas Edison capitalized on. Edison was more of a capitalist. That's the word I'm looking for.
A capitalist? I think that the word entrepreneurial was actually very good. I think you hit it on the nose whenever you said that first. So
I guess so.
Well, the humanist thing is really interesting because I feel like humans have this desire to kind of I don't know, I feel like deep inside of us, each one of us wants humanity to do good, right? So we're trying to prop up more humanity. So if you think of the way that humans really look up to other humans in terms of the humans that we really remember, usually the humans that we remember the most are the humans that have propped up the rest of humanity, right? So you think of Socrates, bringing out the Socratic method, making people think. Then you have Thomas Edison, inventing a light bulb, advancing humanity in that way. Nikola Tesla advancing humanity in that way. Albert Einstein advancing humanity. All these things that we really appreciate as humans are advancements for humans. So I really don't think that humans have a what would you call them? Let me try to bring this all back in.
Or were you saying that even because you are advancing technology or you're advancing humanity, it's okay to make money off of it because you're providing the service?
Yes, I do think that.
That's not a bad thing to gain from it.
It shouldn't be because you're doing something great for humanity and people will remember you. I don't really know what we're looking to. I guess a good heart is something else that we look for. But I'm not really sure what exactly our values are as humans.
I guess I would go back and look what are the negatives in what Thomas Edison has done specifically? Because we kind of, it was like you said, we exalted him for so long, and then now we look at him in kind of a negative light. similar to what's happened with Christopher Columbus, you know, where he was like the guy that discovered America, and then recently, you know, he was more of we give him more of a colonizer title now.
A conquistador.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like to go back and look what exactly has he done that has a negative connotation. I think recently some people kind of give a bad moniker to capitalism, and Thomas Edison, I mean, he was a capitalist, and a lot, he had a entrepreneurial, capitalistic motive behind a lot of his ventures. So I don't know, maybe that's the negative connotation that people put on it, but is that really bad?
I don't know. Is capitalism bad? Oh shit. This shit's getting deep fast.
Oh boy.
Oh no, we can go. That can, yeah.
What do you think, Carlos? You own a business.
About what?
About capitalism.
Would you say that's bad or not?
What's capitalism?
I can look up the definition to actually give you a specific answer. In the meantime,
Basically, capitalism is where you have a service or business and then you offer it to people for an exchange of money. I mean, that's basically at its root. That's what capitalism is, right?
Okay.
Yeah. As opposed to like socialism, which is where resources are distributed to the general population or people around you to be.
yeah, I can give you the exact definition. An economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit. So it's exactly what
Business
Frank
owners.
said. Yeah, so you own, you know, your trade or your industry for profit rather than by the state. So the state does not own this; it's you the one who owns it. What do you think of this type of situation?
What do I think about being a business owner?
Yeah,
A capitalist. I mean,
yeah. I mean, being a business owner is automatically puts you in a capitalist.
It depends how you look at it. At first, it can be very scary. You know, some people are scared of making a jump in their life to pursue what they want to go for. Some people are just excited about it and they do it. You know, so you have to look back into you and ask yourself, what kind of person are you, and are you willing to go through the ups and downs of it?
Are you willing to be a capitalist?
Are you willing to be a capitalist? Good.
so yeah, with capitalism, then the entrepreneur takes the biggest risk, but also will take in the reward.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the incentive, the
I mean,
risk reward.
Yeah, but I also feel like there has to be like something said about like you know, just being an expert at something, right? Like, you know, like Carlos is, you know, he's becoming an expert at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You yourself are an expert at it. There's, you know, just being like good enough to be able to teach your trade, and why would that be bad? I think the capitalism, like you said, does get a bad rap, and I think
It does.
It does.
I think.
I think it's people put it with like
Here's
corporations.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, this is how I feel. Unregulated capitalism can be bad. Like Carlos being a small business owner, offering the service of learning jiu-jitsu. I mean, I don't see any wrong in that. Let's say Carlos becomes the number one jiu-jitsu school, and then he grows to where it's a national jiu-jitsu franchise, and then worldwide, and like no other schools can open up because Carlos's schools are in every corner, and unless you subscribe or franchise with him, then you can't open a school. I mean, who's to check him on that? You know,
But
that's where,
what did he do wrong in this situation?
right? Well, he was just very successful.
Yeah, he was so successful.
He wasn't allowing competition.
That's so.
That's the
So
only thing.
I mean, he wasn't allowing competition because he was so good. if people like so like you gotta think about like like Pablo, he came in here. Gracie Baja was already here. Gracie Baja is deep.
Yeah.
Gracie Baja is worldwide, and then Pablo made a world class, jiu-jitsu team. And like not only is it the facility's world class.
Yeah.
The place, people like know all over the world now about Pablo Silva Jiu-Jitsu.
So the cool thing about Pablo Silva Jiu-Jitsu and just Jiu-Jitsu in general is that the way it is, there's so much room for competition. Like, there's Pablo Silva's association, there's Gracie Baja, and then just in Houston alone, there's so many others. And Pablo's ranks amongst the top, but it's not the only place you can go to. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll go somewhere else and won't like it, and you go to Pablo's, or maybe you'll go to Pablo's and it's not for you and you go somewhere else. But that's like what you would call a free market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if Pablo's school or Carl's were to grow so big that there's no other schools around? And then he would be free to shape jiu-jitsu to what he thinks it should be. Is his vision correct or wrong? That's where monopolies become dangerous.
So, following the jiu-jitsu trend, don't you think that that's already happened a couple of times? I mean, like...
Yes, it has.
It has at least happened twice, right? It happened from Japanese jiu-jitsu to Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? So at least that once. And then, then you have to think about between Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the old style, and then there's modern Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Self-defense, sport.
So it has moved at least twice.
Yes.
So, and like each one of those is one of them better than the other. And, would you consider them one of them bad?
It just depends on perspective.
What do you think about like for self-defense and not training for self-defense, just training for the sport?
I think just training for sport, I think you'll be okay in self-defense. So if I train for self-defense, it's kind of like it's valid, but a lot of times in self-defense, you train for specific situations. Like, okay, this is how you disarm an attacker with a knife. And then you'll learn this move. Or this is how you disarm somebody pointing a gun at you. The thing is, a fight is chaos. There's no control. There's no guarantee that they're going to move or react a certain way. So with self-defense, it's good to learn those things, but they're not 100%. So in itself, I'm not saying it's useless, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
So with that respect, have fun with jiu-jitsu and make it a game or a sport. That's my opinion.
What about you, Carlos? What do you think? What do you think you lean more towards?
I've done both, so from that perspective, I'm obviously leaning more towards competition jiu-jitsu. But then again, nobody gets into jiu-jitsu for the same reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some people got into it because they're looking for the self-defense aspect of it, and other people for competition or as a hobby. But what would work better in the street? You go to a self-defense class, do you get your cardio in? Do you get, you have to be able to run out of the situation. You have to be able to, what if this guy's heavier than you? You have to be able to have some type of cardio strength. And I think that's what the competition jiu-jitsu helps with, because you have someone constantly going at it with you for a good amount of time. Somebody constantly fighting you. As in a self-defense class, they're not really.
It's so much drilling that you don't get enough cardio work in.
Correct.
Or or live training.
I feel
That's
like
what you would call it.
I mean, like I feel like live training does happen, and I'm not in any camp in this situation. I think I like both. I would train in both. I just so happen to have picked competition because competition is, just what I happened to land in. I would have done the other if I would have kept on going the way that I was going when I originally started. But I do think that that competition helps. But I think just doing submissions. I think any normal practitioner will be better than any normal rando, right? I would say it doesn't matter if the person competes in just competition jiu-jitsu. He will be better than just a random person. I would even go as far as he would be better than a boxer, right?
Definitely.
It would have to be somebody who knows who have to be traditionally trained to be able to beat a competition jiu-jitsu person.
Yeah. So I think what counts the most, and so you're arguing whether sport or self-defense. I think what counts more than any of the two is common sense. Do the best you can to avoid situations where you're gonna be in a situation like that. If something looks sketchy, don't hang out there, man.
What? Sir, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
I only hang out in
sketchy places. No,
so look, I'm sorry. This is where I live, so I have to know how to protect myself. But
no, so common sense.
No, definitely common sense. But if you have enough money.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Okay, and also, I agree with what you said earlier. It's really all about perspective. Because if you would ask me which I prefer, I would say I can't tell the difference because I don't know anything about jiu-jitsu. So to me, it's all of the four that you described, that you separated into 4 different categories of jiu-jitsu, they're all the same to me. I would not be able to tell you the difference. So y'all are fighting over something that's really specific and I think that
very niche.
Very niche. And what actually makes jiu-jitsu really good for people is that you can just kind of go into your own kind of game.
Yeah, you can branch out. You can definitely branch out. That's interesting. Continue.
Yeah, but I forgot where I was going. I'm sorry, Frankie. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
What I always tell when I assist or teach a class and I'm teaching kids a self-defense move is before anything, if you can, just run away from the situation. Get away from the situation. Because there's so many variables that can affect the outcome. You don't know if the person has a knife, he has a gun, what do your surroundings look like, do they have friends, are you taking on a mob? There's so many variables.
Divorce his wife.
You
See the bad spot. You don't want to mess with somebody who had just been fired. This guy's got nothing to lose.
So, just avoid the situation. So, if I could give a black belt for anybody who figured that out, just avoid the situation, I don't know, maybe we'd have an idea there, some kind of a money-making idea. But, hey, no, arm bars? Bro, no, kimonos? No, just walk away.
No, look, they teach this in a very important class that I've taken when I was a kid at Dora the Explorer. So
what?
Go on. Continue, please.
Oh, that's true.
They have this conniving fox, right?
Okay.
It just comes in and just wreaks havoc every so often. And then sometimes they catch them, sometimes they don't. But they'll be like, swipe or no swipe. Right? If you just hit one of these attackers or one of these, just be like, swipe or no swiping, swipe or no swiping. If you say it a third time, the guy's gonna quit. and if Dora the Explorer has taught me anything, I know that there's two things that I know are a fact. One of them is that my name's Miguel Dominguez. The other is that in Dora the Explorer, swipe or no swiping always works.
Okay, I'm gonna have to Google this.
You can give it a try. Next time you're in a dangerous situation.
Swipe.
I don't think this is on Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we can find this for you.
All right. What did this stem from?
I mean, it's standard from like jujitsu and
Running away.
and capitalism.
Okay.
Oh man, that's way back.
I like it.
Okay. So in my opinion, unregulated capitalism is bad.
That's good. I agree. I would say that for sure you don't want to have like a railroad situation where like one person owns everything and then now we have.
Yeah.
Except for that one person being the government, and we're like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
If it's the government, it's fine. They have our best interest at heart. Right?
Yeah. All right. Okay, so all right.
Do you guys want to reach into the hat?
Yeah, let's see what's next.
Yes, I want to bring up the next topic.
Please do.
All right, go.
I feel like this could be kind of interesting.
Good.
Or it's the most boring subject on here. Could you beat your clone?
Going straight to that one.
Wow.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. Could you beat your clone? All right. So many questions here.
Yes.
All right.
I have a lot of like.
I mean,
All right. Well,
nurture.
One at a time. All right. So, Janet, you introduce the topic. Tell us what you think about this first.
Okay.
Go.
So, first I have to think about the situation in which this arose. Why would I have to? Why is there a clone of me, right? So okay.
Who's running around cloning Janet?
Yes. Why is there a fucking clone of me without my permission? And now I have to fucking fight it. All right. It's like
It's just everything is disintegrated to this point.
what I want to know is.
How did I get to this point in my life?
Yes, I didn't have time to prepare, right? So I'm like, whatever strength I have right now, this is the strength that I have to fight this clone. I don't know if this clone is modified, right? Like if there's a
it's
technology.
your same exact clone.
At what level?
There's a
Okay.
technology that exists that cloned me. What else could they have added to that clone?
Did they modify Janet's genes, clone Janet's genes,
Yes.
to automatically be stronger, better reflexes,
Possibly.
more speed?
Well, I mean, okay. So I guess in this situation, we can just first start with: could you beat a clone, an exact copy of you?
Okay, so this is an
There's
exact.
still so many variables. Go.
Okay, so, all right. So this exact copy of me, does it have the resilience that I have? Like, it still has. Like,
Has this clone Janet had the same hard life that I lived?
No, because my
Been through
resilience.
the things that I've been through.
No, that's the thing. My resilience is very small. Like I give up very easily. So like, I'm gonna give up before that clone does. But if it does what I do, it might give up before me.
What do
So
you-
I'm in a conundrum.
All right, Frankie.
So, okay, this clone is the exact same as I am.
Yes.
Does this clone have a black belt in jiu-jitsu? Okay, does this clone have a family and
All right.
kids?
Do you have a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start with this, right? So
Go.
I'll try to clear up for you.
All right. Because you can.
This clone is a month ago.
What?
Oh,
Even
it's past
months ago.
Frankie.
It's past Frankie. He was a brown belt clone.
Bravo, clone.
See,
Oh, man.
with belts, you can measure your progress. That is a really.
we will see
I-
how much a
Oh,
month
man.
work, a month of you putting in on the grindstone. See,
Man. Okay, so skill wise, yeah, so there's yeah, so maybe I'm on a higher plane slightly
slightly
But-
by a month,
by a month.
maybe,
Okay.
That's like-
maybe,
Now-
just like in a month.
Because I got my black belt a month ago. Okay.
All right. I also want
But-
to point out that within that month,
Does this go?
within that month, you probably have trained how many times? 10 times?
Yeah, 5 to 10
So
at least.
within 10 times, do you think that you've gotten that much better that you think you can be an exact copy of yourself?
What motives does this clone have? Is he fighting for his country?
No, look.
For
Look.
his kids?
Look.
Does he have a wife and kids to go back home to?
So
Because I think that would give me an edge. Like,
he has your wife and kids to go back home to.
So if he beats me, he's gonna just assume, like, you know,
He has the choice. He
Yeah,
has the
he
choice.
could.
like I'm not going back home to that lab. I'm taking your spot. Okay. Ooh, that's a tough fight then. Because I think he would be more motivated than I in that case.
Totally, man.
I mean, you lived with your family.
I'm just saying.
Is that
maybe,
what's making you less motivated?
I'm just saying, like, imagine you live in a prison and you're like, hey, fight this dude, and you got your freedom. Because I don't know, that's what I imagine my clone would be living like. You know, he grew up on a petri dish or something.
I mean, but that wasn't a prison.
I'm just, it's a controlled environment where he maybe doesn't, I don't know, like, he doesn't have the same freedom that I did, you know, same life. And maybe he wants my life.
Maybe he just wants to fight you.
What if
Okay.
you had all the same
If it's
memories that you had?
Yeah. What?
So-
Yeah.
Okay, same memories.
Okay, so what if this clone?
man.
What if this clone was just like, you know, you guys were talking and then
What
all
if-
of a sudden
what if-
everything just devolved?
What if through all this talk, it just becomes the most anticlimactic fight ever? And it's just like us
mean,
fighting for half guard or something. For 5 to 10 minutes.
Or like both of you guys are like in
Just stalling out. Canceling each other's
looking
moves.
around for the ref. It's just like, ref, it's been past 30 seconds. Penalize this guy.
What about you, Carlos? What do you think?
Are those real?
What's real?
Clones.
Yes, they clone sheeps and animals.
In this situation, yes.
Clones are real. No, it's not a fictitious question.
Do they clone humans?
Yes.
You know
they're-
what?
Alright.
Legally, international law forbids human cloning. But there's a lot of people that are pretty 100% sure that some rogue country like China or something has cloned humans.
Yeah, because why not?
How do you clone a human?
The same way you clone a sheep. Or
How?
You
I would-
use your cells and you multiply on the petri dish.
Yeah.
Use some kind of egg.
You know, there's
You have to artificially inseminate someone.
Yeah.
And I think they did that to a woman. She gave birth to her clone, didn't she?
I don't know.
I remember seeing something like that. Or am I going crazy?
So, Janet
Carlos,
should
that's
answer
how
this
they
question for
do
you.
it? That's
Janet,
how they do
how could you make a clone?
I don't know.
I mean, you have the biology degree here.
I don't have it yet.
It's a very complicated process. None of
I
us are
know
experts.
that mitosis is involved.
None of us are experts, but I'll tell you this much, Carlos.
As well.
It's possible today to make a clone of you. The technology is there.
It is
So-
definitely a
So
possibility.
let's continue.
I would definitely love a clone of me.
But no, you have to fight this clone.
No, who says I have to fight him?
This is the
No, the question.
Who would
Could you
win?
beat your own clone?
Could you beat your own clone?
Forget the question.
No.
Why fight?
Okay, so
Alright,
you
so
want to
you would-
love?
So both of
Yeah.
you, do you
Your
think
clone.
that both of you, do you think that you can convince your clone to not fight
Hey
you?
man, let's just join forces and work together and
Just like, look,
share the same life, share the same girlfriend, share the same
Make clone of
everything.
everybody. Make a clone of everybody.
I wouldn't want to share
Clone everybody
my
else.
clone. Forget my clone. We'll fight.
we'll see how that
What
works.
if your clone beats you? What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
It happens.
In this situation, you're trying to figure out how to beat him.
So I think the philosophic question is: if your clone beats
Alright.
you, did you lose, or do you just continue living for
Did
your
you
clone?
Exactly.
Did you even lose? You did it.
You just keep living through your clone. You
Or are you just
know,
gonna live another life?
Did you
it's like a
even-
Black Mirror episode or something.
What
you
if
know?
you're the clone?
Yeah. What if you
and the real you's confronting you?
Yeah. So you just you go to work, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, I'm the clone.
I heard just your member say you're the clone.
You're about to put in the keys inside of the shop, and then you're like, oh, I don't have the keys because I'm inside. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I'm the clone.
Oh my god.
So you would get along with your clone.
I would try to. I mean, I would hate to fight him.
I see the incentive in having more of you to accomplish the day-to-day tasks that it takes to do the things
that would
you
definitely
do.
be cool.
That would be helpful.
If two Miguels could get down and just start working, I feel like we could get some shit done.
Really?
Or we could just stall both.
Stall each other out, argue over the best course of action.
Dude, I would definitely because I one of the things that happens with me is just like I'll get in a bubble and I'll just get over where like I'll start focusing too much on one thing, and if it's two of us trying to focus on one thing, I bet you it wouldn't even be the same thing. We'll be focused on two different things and would not get anything done.
All right. So here's the question.
Could I beat my clone?
No.
It could be your clone. That's the question.
That is the question.
That's the question.
Oh my God, hold on. I have a different
you gotta
question.
No, okay.
Go ahead.
You have to answer this
We're
question.
still on the
eventually.
clone.
We'll
We're
move
still
on.
on.
We'll ask your question, but
Where's-
first answer the first one, and then we'll go to the
No,
next
you know
question.
what? If you want to come,
Could you beat your clone?
if
This
this
is
is
how I'm gonna answer.
Okay,
it.
go
okay,
go
okay, go ahead.
Go.
All right.
Do it.
Damn, guys.
Just do it.
It's Bros Monday.
Go.
Would you rather fight your clone or would you rather be cool with your clone?
All right, so let's just say that you started off being cool because you both thought of this same exact scenario, and then you're like, you know what? I think it'd be cooler to be cool. But then you guys start, like your clone's just like, well, no, I gotta drive as well. Can I take the car? And you're like, no, bitch, this is my car.
Is it your car?
Yeah, no. We said we would share, right? We're sharing everything. You have to give me half of the money, and then the clone is just like, yeah, I need half of the money. And you're like, no, man, it's my money. I'm working, right? I'm the one with the bank account, and then you have to have everything. At some point, you probably would get angry at your clone, or vice versa, and you would fight.
Yeah.
So who would win if y'all end up fighting?
Probably me. Because Miguel would be there cornering me.
What if Clone Miguel's cornering Clone Miguel? No, forget that. Forget that. No, I would jump at this opportunity and I would coach your clone. I would be your clone's corner.
I would call Pablo to come coach me for that one.
Oh man.
That would be a tough match.
Yeah, that's just because your clone does exactly the same moves as you.
Your game.
We would both pull like 50-50 or something.
Could I lift my clone?
Could
you lift?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Can you lift yourself? I don't know.
I mean,
No.
how much? How much weight can you lift?
I can't do a pull up very well. I can't do a pull up.
Pull-ups are
You did
tough.
tire flips the other
Tire
day.
flips.
I did do those, but I had Stephanie's help.
Regardless, I could not get past my clone. We'd have to fight. Settle it. Like there can only be one.
You want to kill your clone, huh?
I mean, it's either me or him. I can't. I
Well,
feel like
we
I
didn't say
couldn't
anything about
share.
killing the
But then you
other.
don't have twins or something.
Huh? I don't know. It would be too freaky to me. Like,
You'd be like, you know what? I don't like you.
Yeah,
I don't like you.
Straight up. Your clone is just like the perfect version of you.
I just met you, but I don't like you.
What if like your clone is like such a good guy? He's exactly you, but he's just a little nicer. Right?
Oh, I'd hate him even more. It's like going to Chick-fil-A. No, I don't want your help. Like they're extra nice to you, and it doesn't bother you guys?
I mean,
No.
no.
I know it's a script. No, you're not the only one that gets bothered by that. It's kind of
Okay.
creepy, but
Okay.
it's definitely a script, and I'm okay with it.
Is that why? Because it's disingenuous, maybe? When I go to
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A
for the
and they're extra
situation-
nice, it kind of bothers me.
Your clone is being nice. He knows that he has had it
My
easy
clone-
for the last month since he's been alive, and you've been alive for however long you've been alive. So he's just trying to make up for lost time. He's just trying
I'm
to.
telling you, it sounds like my clone would have more motive, more motivation to win.
Oh man, so like,
it's like you put two lions to fight each other. One's starving and the other one's very well fed. Who do you think will fight harder? The starved lion.
Maybe, but the starved lion.
Have you
might not
seen
be
a well-fed
as strong.
lion? They're not very mobile. They lay around for days.
They fat.
Okay, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch
Well, like,
Discovery Channel.
A
That much.
starved
that's a
lion
fact.
has nothing to lose. I mean, yeah, like they'll be dead anyway. Like if they don't fight.
No, a starved lion, they're very aggressive.
Okay, I mean, those are the lions that attack humans.
What?
So, I would akin clone Frankie want to assume my life like a starved lion.
Oh.
And I've just been living it up for 36 years. I don't know, I just think that they'd be more motivated.
What if like your clone hated your life? It was just like, I'm glad I'm not that.
Dude, what if my clone was like an asshole to like my family? Maybe I'd have more motivation than him.
Maybe.
What if like your family liked your clone, but your clone hated your family?
Oh.
It's just, but he's like fake nice. It's just like he's just trying to keep up appearances for you.
Chick-fil-A nice.
Yeah, he's just trying to help you out. She's like, I like Frankie, but I hate you guys. He really likes you.
Miguel.
Yes.
Did you answer? Would you win?
I have not answered.
Could you beat your own clone?
I would let him win.
You would let him win?
Mm-hmm.
What are the stakes of this fight? Did we even discuss that?
No, we didn't. We never.
We just assumed.
We were trying to figure out what.
Yeah, I would just let my clone win, and I would just be like, you know what, you can have whatever you want, and I'll just take whatever else, and because that would give me an opportunity to do something else. If Janet wanted to come with me, then she could. If she wanted to stay with the clone,
I don't get to pick. You made that very clear.
I mean, you get to pick.
No, you said
What?
the clone would
Yeah.
pick everything.
Yeah, well, he gets to pick
Anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be with the clone, then that's fine, and if he's
What's
cool
the
with it,
difference?
do you want to be with the clone me that wants to be with you or not?
Wait, what?
There's a clone version of me, and he wants to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I am like, you know what? If you want to be with Janet and Janet's okay with being with you, then you guys can just be together.
That's weird.
I'm a good bro for myself.
Yeah, you are. That would be kind of a really weird situation. So, like, I would be able to see two of y'all's,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all are just like, I'm like, well, I'm like a puppy, right? And then I have to choose which side to go to.
Yeah. I honestly think that both me and my clone would come up with the same ideas. And I think that we would try, like, I think we would do, like, some kind of pact where we're like, all right, we're just trying to work together until we decide to kill each other. And then, so we would just end up trying to work together and know that eventually one of us is going to try to attack the other. You know, just catch us by surprise.
Yikes.
Trying to catch each other. Just wait till you let your guard down.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's smart. That's smart.
We're working together, right? But we know that eventually one of us is gonna betray the other. And
What if you both decide at the end that you're like, no, I don't want to betray him?
yeah, then we would just work together until we're done working. You know, I think that's what I would do. I would definitely be like, look, I know that we're gonna fight at some point, but it doesn't have to be today. Let's just try to have a truce until you're ready to fight, and then in the meantime we can try to gain experiences and do different things. Maybe try to learn some things in the meantime, and I'm sure that we would come up with the same ideas. So eventually we'll both like learn Mandarin. Just trying to get an edge on the other guy, right? We were just trying just learn some like crazy things that I assume my clone could not learn.
Just trying to get a leg up on each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to, I bet you that at some point we're both gonna try to attack each other, like on the same night. Just trying to catch each other, right? We're both in different rooms, and we're like running into the other room. And we're not there because I'm in the other room.
Wow.
This is like a sitcom.
Crazy.
I feel like the clone version of me and me would at least have a laugh. At least
Like, oh you clone.
yeah.
You know,
Every time that we wouldn't catch each other, we would have a laugh. Because I know I would laugh if my clone failed at killing me.
I think. Would both clones die at the same time?
Me and my clone?
Yeah. Like if y'all didn't have to get it on each other.
I feel like no.
Did you write here what you do with your uniforms?
Mm-hmm.
What about?
That wasn't what we.
What was the question?
What do you do with your medals?
Oh, what do you do with your medals?
I don't keep them.
You don't?
I don't. Like, they just kind of end up here and there.
All right. So, how many gold medals have you done this to?
I don't know, dude.
How many
Because I
gold-
don't keep up with them.
How many gold medals do you think you've won?
If I had to guess, maybe like 4 or 5 or something.
I know Carlos.
I don't
keeps those.
compete as much as you guys do. Like, ever since I started to now, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5. But, yeah, like, just kind of I don't know, man.
I mean,
I've lost
Yeah,
count.
but the medals. The medals.
Oh, you're talking about the medals?
Yeah,
medals,
he probably
gold
competed
medals.
more than that.
Yeah, but I just, yeah, they just end up wherever.
Why? Why are you like that towards that?
I feel like the medals are, what's the word? To me, like, the experience is enough. Getting ready, cutting the weight, being in the match. When you're at the tournaments, all the people you talk to, it's like a social. And you have fun. And to me, the medal, it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to have that much significance to me. I have first place medals, second place medals, and bronze medals. And
So you have fourth place medals?
place medals.
How many sixth place medals do you
I
have?
have fourth place medals in a 2-man bracket. How about that? No, but so what do you guys do with your medals?
Carlos, what do you do with your medals?
I have some at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of them I have in a box.
Yeah. Are you proud of these medals?
Yeah.
Are you proud of the ones in the gym more than the ones in the box?
Yeah.
Why did you pick the ones in the gym?
Because they all have a lesson and the experience of that medal.
Okay. Well, I mean, as you guys could obviously see as you walked in, I hang my medals. They're all hanged, but not by my choice. Janet made that choice.
Oh, that's nice.
Janet decided that she was like, you should be proud of your things. And I was like, hey, why am I not proud of this? Like.
So if it wasn't for Janet, would you have them like kind of here and there?
I
similar to
had
me,
them.
or-
I had them in a coffin. In a
Coffin. My coffin I bought for myself.
It's for my clone. I bought the coffin for the clone. I'm that confident.
So you kept them in a coffin.
Wait a minute. Would it be suicide or murder? Would killing your clone be suicide or murder?
Murder. It's murder.
Are you sure?
I guess.
Who did you
it's
kill?
Another you. Killed you.
I still can't get past.
Go. No more noises.
All right. We're live.
We're live.
So we're doing an introduction.
Are we?
Yeah, because Carlos was bitching about it last time.
He's not even here this
And
time.
that's some of the critiques. So, Miguel, introduce us.
All right. Over here in front of me, I have my very good and very funny co-host, Frankie Martinez.
Pleasure.
And on his left side, we have Janet Martinez, my lovely fiance.
We have the same last name.
No relation. Howdy.
And then on my left side, I have Alvaro Sanchez, my brother.
All right. So, like, if
Wait a minute.
Oh, we're not done.
Wait a minute, sir. What about me?
I was gonna.
You were just gonna go off?
So
Hey, no, give me my second, all right?
Get to
Yeah, no.
I was gonna introduce you.
No, I'll introduce myself.
All right, go.
And I am your
A little
love.
potential.
God damn it! Let me do my introduction.
Okay.
All right?
Go.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about that, man. Okay.
Go.
And I am your lovely co-host, or actually host, Miguel Dominguez. You can introduce me now.
We got the Mel McGingas, guys. Right?
All right, Janet, now you introduce me.
The host, Miguel Dominguez.
Alvaro?
Miguel, he's here too. And then we're gonna start now.
So, since Janet and I have the same last name, I was gonna say if we were gonna if they were gonna divvy this up into make this a fight, we would be on the same team against you two.
Mm-hmm.
So, who would win?
I would.
Which team would win? The team, not you.
Oh, okay.
It's you and Alvaro.
Oh, between me and Alvaro and
It's
you two?
tag team. So,
What are we
against
tag teaming?
Janet and I,
Yeah.
What are we tag teaming?
like.
Who are we tag teaming?
Like, let's say you and me would go, you and Miguel and Frankie would go, and let's say you sub me, then I would tag Janet, and she'd continue for me.
I don't know.
You've never watched
I
WWF?
yeah, but I don't think I could fight Janet.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
damn.
where we.
Ooh,
That's
wouldn't.
the handicap. I can bet Janet.
Yeah.
So she would tag me back in.
I see. This
You
is
know?
this is why I say I would win, because I would fight you and then you would get tired, and then Janet would jump in and then I couldn't fight Janet, so Alvaro would jump in and fight Janet and then I would fight Alvaro.
Right.
That's not how this works, my friend.
No, Janet's my survival partner. Sorry,
Yeah, so if anybody fights
Oh,
me,
like
my
one of
nose
those
is-
wrestling plot twists.
bro. If the
Y'all were on
apocalypse,
the same team
yeah, if
the
the
whole time.
yeah,
Oh, damn.
if the apocalypse,
Look of shock on my face. Like, you betrayed me, Janet. The story continues.
there's egg on your face, isn't there?
Yeah.
That last name doesn't mean shit around here, dude.
I guess not. I guess not.
All right, guys. I do want to go over some complaints from the previous podcast. One, noise. We're all making noise, and I did not like that. No more noises.
Okay.
Right on cue.
Right? Also, people did not like that we talked about jiu-jitsu so much. Certain people. There's a small minority of people. I mean, out of the 30 people that have listened to the podcast, 3 of them said no. So that's what is that? Like a number?
That's about 3%.
On both of them.
It's a percentage.
3%. I
What-
did the math.
It's 3%?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not
Of our
10?
listeners. Wait, let me.
Yeah, it is 10.
10%.
It is
If you-
10.
If you carry
Is
the
it
two,
10%? Or?
If you carry the 2,
It's 10%.
that's 10%.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So a 10% of our audience hates when we talk about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So
So what better way to start it than to talk about the IBGF rules?
There we go. So
Janet is actually one of the people who
Complained about
us talking about jiu-jitsu. So this is gonna be fun talking about jiu-jitsu.
yeah, that's like 25% of the podcast group.
I feel like I was saying earlier, who we are as a people is we train jiu-jitsu and we like other stuff too. So it would be disingenuous if we veered away from jiu-jitsu.
I would say it's a pretty good
You
bio.
know, maybe, Janet, maybe you should do jiu-jitsu.
Maybe I shouldn't.
I'm just saying.
What do you hate about jiu-jitsu?
I don't understand it, and I don't want to.
I don't understand soccer.
Yeah, right.
You do soccer?
Janet.
I don't do soccer.
Exactly.
Wait, I like that you brought this
solid
up.
argument.
Yeah.
Bad argument.
Why do you hate jiu-jitsu, Janet?
I don't hate it. I
It's,
just never had any interest. It doesn't look fun to me. I've never really liked wrestling. It looks like a lot of wrestling, and being really close to another person for like an hour and a half. You're just rolling in your own sweat. You got butts in your face and feet in your face, and then you come home looking like you're dead, and then you're like, that was fun.
you know what? All of that sounds like great fun to me.
I think my wife would be in the same boat as you. Yeah, she's kind of the same way. I think people have a thing about personal space, and getting in that personal space is like they just don't want to get into that, and so jiu-jitsu is not something for them.
True.
And yeah, my wife's the same way. But I think there's a segment of the population where they're a glutton for punishment, or they.
You mean the people that write poetry?
I guess so. I don't know.
How is that? How's that?
What I was. Yeah, sure.
How are they glutton for punishment? People who write poetry.
Bro, I mean, as a person who used to write poetry, I'm telling you, nobody cares.
Nobody cares about what?
Nobody
your
cares
poetry.
about your poetry.
Right.
Isn't that right, Caesar? Right on cue. Good job. You missed your one line.
I'm trying to take it all in right now, and poetry, go fuck itself, you know.
Oh, there you go.
I don't see the point of it.
Let the record show that Caesar said, fuck it, he doesn't see the point of it.
But, like, in jiu-jitsu, or in a lot of things, I think people get satisfaction out of, like, tearing themselves down and building themselves back up. So that's the allure to jiu-jitsu, and not just jiu-jitsu, a lot of things that kind of...
What do you mean by tearing yourself down?
So in jiu-jitsu, you'll get submitted, you might get injured, or at the very least, you'll be very tired, bruised. And then you decide to come back the next day and do it again. But
Kind of sounds like sociopathic a little bit.
I mean, it might be, but so it's this process of kind of your highs and lows, and you'll have these low points, but the high points are really gratifying in that maybe one day you'll submit that one guy who is always getting you, or you'll get a stripe on your belt. Or maybe your instructor will just give you a compliment. Hey, you're coming along pretty well, Miguel. Or you get your next belt, your blue belt, purple belt. You know, those are the high points, and that starts making it worth it, right?
I mean, now that you've reached the point in your jiu-jitsu career that you got a black belt, what do you feel like you'll get that satisfaction from, since there's no more belts that you can go up in?
No one can give you a pat in the back.
Sure.
Good job.
I mean, like,
Hey, you're doing pretty good for a black belt.
at this point, it's the same thing. It's like, well, at this point, it becomes a lifestyle where I just feel compelled to do it. But at the same time, even though I got my black belt, I still have highs and lows. Let's say I stop training for 2 weeks. I get busy at work or with family, or I take a trip, and I come back, and I feel sluggish and slow, and people are a step ahead of me. So now the challenge is, that's my low, and I got to get back to my high. I mean, it's a small battles, the small challenges that you overcome.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like you plateaued though? Once you got your black belt? It's like,
No.
no,
Not-
where's your next goal that you want to achieve? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. Cause like,
Yeah, so
you reached that.
Caesar's saying, what's my next goal, or have I plateaued? From here, it's weird because I feel like I got my black belt, a month ago or something?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
How over are you now?
How long did the happiness last? Was it a good day?
Like, I guess I was ecstatic for a day or maybe half a week, but I think of it like, if I didn't get my black belt, I'd still be doing what I'm doing now. I feel like the belts was just a formality. Like, being consistent in my training was just something that I just feel compelled to do. But at the same time, that's disingenuous because I notice now that I got my black belt, I tend to be a little more focused in what I'm doing. Like, I started changing my eating habits because I'm like, oh man, I'm a black belt. I can't be really obese. I'm trying to exercise more. So I'm making adjustments and changes because I feel like I gotta be this example. And really, it's other factors kind of have influenced that, but I gotta be a better version of myself. But that's what jiu-jitsu is. You're just trying to be better than what you were.
What do you think, Alvaro? Alvaro is brand new to the game.
I think it looks like a long path. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it'll probably be surreal. Like, even to think about getting a black belt just seems surreal to me now. So it's kind of crazy.
It's to you, it looks like what, a 10-year plan or something?
Yeah, to me it looks like, like...
It's almost like insurmountable, right?
Yeah. It's almost like I can't even, like, it's really hard to imagine me even there just because I'm just almost at the opposite side of the spectrum in this case.
So why haven't you said, this is going to take so long, why even try? Has that ever entered your consciousness?
Yeah. I think the thought of, like, being able to be high level at this skill keeps me in more than, like, the thought of having to wait too much time.
Except for
it
those
forces
days
me to push out.
There's always those days where you're like, do I even know what the fuck I'm doing? What's going on over here?
I still
what's
I think it happens to everybody, no matter what level you're at
or what you're doing too. I feel like there's days where you're just like, don't do as well, and you're like, have I just been lying to myself and I don't really know anything that's going on?
It's my whole life a shamble. Just a house of cards that can topple down at any moment. Just keep it together as you're drinking your coffee, shaking your hand.
So what was the original question? Why do we
talk so much about jiu-jitsu?
The original question is, why do we talk so much about jiu-jitsu?
All right.
That's a 10-minute conversation right there.
And we lost that 10% now.
Well, so
they're gone. They're not listening anymore.
This is the fun part about it. Is like, I can kind of see what y'all mean when y'all talk about this. I mean, keep in mind, at one point, Frankie was a white belt, and he couldn't imagine being a black belt.
Yeah.
And
that was nuts to me, yeah.
And it's like, it's very possible.
Yeah.
And if jiu-jitsu brings that out in you, where you just, like, there's a challenge, and you're like, this is something new and exciting, and I want to learn, and I want to put in the work, because it feels like it's, like, it's rewarding whenever you get your belt or your stripe or you win your first tournament. But it's like Frankie said, he's changing his habits. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's, like, the most important thing. Like, it's kind of making you, like, kind of work for it.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely not something that will just be handed to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to like see the philosophy in jiu-jitsu a lot. Because I like philosophy and I like jiu-jitsu, and I feel like it kind of meshes very well. I'm always, like, trying to find out, like, why is it that this is working?
On a philosophical level?
On a philosophical level, yeah.
What's the philosophical way of you're choking someone the fuck out? How do you say that philosophically?
Let me explain. All right, whenever you're choking someone else out, it brings up two things. It brings out the power that you have, right, as a person to be able to execute correctly, right? A good done choke doesn't even hurt all that much. And, like, as a matter of fact, it feels good on the other side.
I can personally attest to that.
Yeah, it feels good to get choked.
He's not lying.
I can imagine.
We're getting to the VJ part of BJJ.
But like, executing well. So it's like you make a prediction and it happens, and then now you're trying to finish. And once you have that submission, it's like locked in. You played the entire game, and then you landed in the correct position. All you have to do is just pull the trigger, right? And that requires a little bit of strength. It requires like to have gotten to that point. It requires a whole bunch of things. You don't just land in a submission. It's like you don't. One of my old teachers used to say, like, it's just like anybody can learn how to punch you by getting punched, but no one's gonna learn how to armbar you if you armbar them. It's just hard. It's just too complicated. So there's a lot of good things that happen, and then that's the end of a road that happens where you're choking someone. So you feel that, and then once that's done, once you have finished and the other person has given in, the other person admitted defeat, right? They admitted that they would have died.
Even to that person, I think that takes a lot. Maybe because they have to admit that they got beat, and they have to be okay with it.
Yeah,
so they could keep going.
There's a lot of losing. There's a lot of losing.
I think it's built on it. I think jiu-jitsu is built on just like losing a whole bunch of times. A lot of the times, like, I don't learn something until it fucks me over multiple times, as Miguel will attest to.
That's how I feel like with like any kind of job that I've ever had. Like I was like, I don't really know what's going on until I have to call help desk. And then shit gets serious. I'm like, all right, what are the protocols? And then after that, I remember everything. But I don't really know the information. I don't really know everything until it really has to hit me.
So, have y'all ever been choked and put to sleep?
Not complete.
Yes.
Sleep, not at least in jiu-jitsu.
How many times, Miguel?
I've only been put to sleep twice.
Twice.
Yes, that's probably more than most people. I don't know why I said only twice.
Well, as a jiu-jitsu person, I feel like that happened more often, especially in a career like yours is pretty long.
Yeah, I got put to sleep once by my teacher, Pablo, in a Whole Foods.
That's awesome. That's great.
Oh, God.
It wasn't in a training session.
Wait, how the hell what led in Whole Foods for him to just say, hey, I'm choking the fuck out?
Okay,
that's a good question. Good question.
Can you elaborate? Is what
I can elaborate. The second time I got choked out happened at the gym, and I was trying to pass somebody's guard, so I was just trying to get an advantage on this guy, and then he had like a deep choke, and then I just kept on trying to pass, and I was just like, the only thing I can do now is armbar, because he's choking me so deep that I'm gonna have to try to go for something crazy. And as I was thinking that, then I saw myself running like through my high school. And I was just sprinting through my high school. And then they were just shaking then I wake up because they were shaking my feet. They're like, hey, it's time to wake up. And they were saying that I was making some crazy snoring noises.
it's typical.
Very, very, after all that and everybody's around, everybody had stopped what they're doing, and it's kind of embarrassing, guys.
Nah, the Whole Foods one.
What?
The Whole Foods
What about the Whole
situation.
Foods?
Okay, so there's the other time I got choked, right? Yesterday.
What?
Okay. This gets better and better. Yesterday.
I'm joking. I'm just trying to evade the question. What was the question again?
Okay. If you want to leave that for another day, that's okay.
How about yourself, Frankie?
I've been choked and put to sleep once. Normally, I do a good job of recognizing when the submission is in deep, especially when it's a choke, and tapping. So I never get to that point where I'm going to go to sleep. But not too long ago, maybe 2 months ago, I was rolling with Miguel. and I don't know at what point we were in a scramble, but maybe there was kind of crucifix position involved, and I might have flipped over and tried to be fancy. And so basically I was laying on top of him, and he sunk in this choke. And I was thinking about escaping. So I think I was trying to turn a certain way. And in the middle of that, I was like, no, it's not gonna happen, and I tapped. But I guess I didn't tap soon enough, or Miguel had the choke in pretty well, and I felt him let go of the choke, but I couldn't get up. I just laid on top of him.
Very heavy.
And I was just laying there, and I was so relaxed. It was like checkmate and set, right? It's like he got me, but I also got him, but he got me. So it was like, I don't know how long it was. Maybe it was just 2 seconds or something. But
you weren't sitting down for a while.
Was I? I don't know, man. You lose track of time. And he asked me, did you go out? And I was like, yeah. But just kind of relaxed, like.
It feels good, guys.
It did. It wasn't miserable. It didn't feel.
I recommend it.
Didn't feel like a rough choke. Your neck will hurt, or you'll have bloodshot eyes or something. But a good choke, it just shuts off blood flow where it should, and that's it.
A good choke
it takes it to where it's better.
Yeah.
A good choke is for your buddy. A great choke is for your lover.
Okay. So, we were originally talking about IBJJF rules. All right. So, what in particular do we feel about IBJJF rules?
I love them.
Janet doesn't know anything about IBJJF rules. Okay.
They're fair.
I don't care. Actually, I bring that up every time, but I don't really have.
We never get to it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, okay? Like, the rules are great. IBJJF, there's mixed opinions about them. Some people think it's a monopoly, you know. But their rule sets, I think they allow the matches to run pretty well. You don't talk to the refs, you know, all the normal rules, but there's some rules I just don't agree with.
What are these rules? Get to the fucking monkey,
point, right?
Yes.
Okay. So reaping, okay? I don't think that should be a thing. Maybe at white belt.
What is this?
Maybe blue.
I don't know what this is.
It's where
it's whenever like
it's where you're playing this guard, and then you scoop your leg to a certain position where it ends up being across your opponent's body, and so the governing body says that that's a very risky position, and you can hurt your opponent.
Inadvertently.
Yeah.
The problem here is that reaping happens, and people feel like the danger aspect is so high that like you probably are not doing. Like you're probably not putting in as much effort, you know. Like, and then they're also trying to protect the athletes, because like back in the day, whenever reaping was involved, when the reaping idea first came in, people didn't have like crazy surgeries like the ones we have now, you know, like back in the 80s or whatever. So like, is that whenever that started? I don't know.
No, reaping.
I can see why we never finished talking about this.
Reaping was implemented recently, like maybe 2010 or something.
2010?
I'm just guessing, but I'm not going to be far off the mark.
Back then?
Maybe not. But people have used reaping to their advantage at some points, where they'll purposely, person on top will purposely put themselves in a position where they're being raped to get their opponent disqualified. All right, that's one reason I don't like it. Two, at black belt, I just feel like there should be more leeway.
Yeah, at black belt, all the things should be unlocked, right? Like, it's just like
exactly like a video game.
You
right?
put in the cheat code. You've already put in the time. You put in the 600 hours.
From white to purple, if you want to protect the people with rules like that, I can understand. But I feel like brown, black, there should be more leeway. And with that said, suplexes should be okay at black belt at the very least.
Damn, take that.
I'm gonna just throw it out there.
Man, I was talking to Caesar about this, but like judo, you know, they took out double leg takedowns.
Oh, don't get me started,
dude. Here's the thing. My boy Jigoro Kano went out across the sea to find the perfect martial art, and he found it in every little bit. He would just take off a little bit of here, a little bit off of there, and the takedown was part of his judo part, right? Like he put that in there himself. And then, these judo people are like, these wrestlers, what are we going to do? But they're going to take us down. Yeah, figure out how to deal with it, all right?
Oh, man, that's a whole nother topic. I mean, I think judo's just kind of screwed themselves over with some of those changes.
I like judo, but I hate the judo, federation. I hate everything that has to do with, like, the stupid ass rules. They don't make any sense.
Now, do you see how this can happen to IBJJ at some point?
IBJJ?
IBJJF. Like, they just start implementing certain rules and they end up crippling themselves. I'm not saying that's what's happening right now or that's where it's at now. I don't think that's the case. But down the line, that could happen.
Maybe.
I feel like at
Black Belt, I'm gonna be rogue back at that point.
At that point,
I'm just
you
gonna
might
be
just
like,
be an old man. I mean,
yeah, I'm just gonna be an old man. Just like, look, this is what's gonna happen. This is gonna happen in 2060, right? And then I'm gonna be like, I don't know how old I'm gonna be at that time, but however old I am gonna be, I'm gonna be like just like kicking a can or something. just kind of like picking up nickels off of the floor.
Nickels?
Yeah.
Look at that old man using paper currency.
Let's go steal from him.
I don't have anything. You guys have Bitcoin at this moment.
I know. And you're picking up coins.
Yeah. And then like, some kid gets like bullied in front of me and I'm like, hey, you kids get out of there.
You have like a Louisiana accent or something. Get out. Okay. And then like we're not done here.
This kid is just gonna be, like he's gonna be so grateful to me because like I'm gonna beat these kids with my martial arts, which they have never seen because of the IBJJF rules. Does not allow any of the crazy things. This is 2060. At this point, all they allow is pillow fights.
Not even intense eye contact.
You have to fight with sock and bop 'em. More fun than a pillow fight.
And he's like, teach me, old man.
Yeah, exactly. And then just kind of make them do kung fu for a couple of years, and I'm all like, forget all that. That was stupid. None of that actually means anything. Actually, this is what you're supposed to learn. And then I'll teach him jiu-jitsu. And then he'll go back and then, beat whichever kid in the finals.
Cobra Kai, right?
I don't know. I
So,
don't know who's going to be it.
Bottom line, at black belt, I just think there should be a lot more leeway. If you got a black belt, you should know how to defend a suplex or not get caught in one or something.
I agree.
So, anyways.
Who all agrees?
Me.
Say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we'll write a formal letter to IBJJF and let's go on.
My dearest IBJJF, I write you this letter knowing that it will arrive in a fortnight. I hope that this hits you in a good manner and that you're sitting down because I'm about to knock you off your feet.
I don't think these guys with
In here, there is 4 people have signed.
And hitherto.
We will not be following your rules anymore. Consider this a declaration of independence. For the United States of BJJ.
I like this.
All right. Well, here's something where like there's no in between or gray area.
There's no jiu-jitsu?
There's no jiu-jitsu.
Nah.
All right.
Cats versus dogs.
So, like, I imagine which animal would be the best at jiu-jitsu.
That's the hard one.
Obviously, cats.
Okay, no. Okay, let's go back. Are we saying...
Wait. The answer is cats, right?
I think it might be dogs.
Hold on.
I mean,
Let me
cats
think about this.
already are like agile. They can. You could throw a cat off of the balcony and he'll land on his feet.
Here's the thing. Cats are smart. Okay? Now, I'm trying to make a case for dogs, but it doesn't sound like it, right?
No.
If a cat sees in a fight that, hey man, things this is gonna take more effort than I thought, I can imagine a cat just being like, all right, I'm out of here. This is too much work.
Yeah.
You
totally.
know, like forget this. Where a dogs are more single focus on one thing, so they're not gonna give up in a fight.
Yeah, there's dogs that were trained to fight bulls.
I mean, they play on their natural instincts and expand on it. So I pick dogs.
I would say a cat. I don't know. Oh wait, you pick a dog because he could be better at jiu-jitsu?
Are we saying?
How
Are we
did
saying
you
what
put
would be better at jiu-jitsu?
No,
or what
we're
would
not.
win in a fight?
No, it's just, which
Okay.
one do you like better, cats or dogs?
Okay, I just like dogs better than cats.
But why? Cats are smarter.
So okay, I've never heard a story in the news saying tonight a homeowner is praising his cat for thwarting a burglary attempt. You know, I've never heard that on the news.
In fact, they let the burglar in the house in the
they
first
opened
place.
the door for the burglar.
The cat
Yeah.
was the burglar.
And that's what it said, cat burglar.
Just on that alone, I feel like dogs have more value. As a companion, I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I feel like Janet has something to say.
I'm sure. I'm just voicing my opinions here. I grew up with dogs and not cats, so maybe that influences that
Oh, yeah,
decision.
totally.
But yeah, I'm a dog person.
Were you gonna say something, Caesar?
Yeah, I've totally seen a video about a cat just whooping a dog's ass. It was going to attack a little kid.
I saw that too.
yeah.
I also saw that
Yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
a
video
cat
in the news where
a cat beat up
Yeah.
a dog.
I mean, there's a lot of videos of cats, punking dogs. It's one of my favorite type of videos, honestly.
Yeah, but I've also seen a video of a bird causing two cats to fight each other and then fall off the roof and just laughing at him.
Freaking birds.
And he's just sitting there just looking at him like, God damn, dude.
That's another variable. Cats versus dogs versus birds.
Yeah, I feel like those instances are more anecdotal, and if you look at the hard evidence,
The
like
hard status.
dogs serve more of a function, where cats are more.
Which
like
scholarly journals did you get this from? Show me this hard evidence.
The Purina Daily.
You're avid reader of Purina Daily.
I'll read it.
No, there is something to say about dogs having jobs, right? Like, we bred them to be this way, to serve a purpose in our lives, to herd our sheep, to, whatever, insert daily job here. So, I mean, they have a purpose, and they're, like, fiercely loyal. So, of course, like, a dog would be the best companion to have if it was just going to be you and the dog. But if you want, like, a really cool friend, you can just get a cat.
Yeah.
They'll be there, maybe.
Yeah. Your cat is like that guy that, like, smokes cigarettes while everybody's in high school, and it's just like, what the hell? He has a jacket in the summer, and it's a jean jacket, so you know that must be bothering him.
Yeah.
But he's too cool. He
He's too
doesn't sweat.
cool. Yeah.
So you like cats, Miguel?
I'm gonna reserve my judgment towards the end. What about you, Amaro?
Yeah, I'm definitely a dog person kind of guy. I have a greater appreciation for cats now that I've actually interacted with them more. But still, I think an overall dog gets the points for me.
Okay, so
Man, for me, I would say that I love dogs and cats equally. Like, it's a tie for me. I'm not gonna decide on either or, because I had a dog. Nope, I had a
You're in a
dog.
stranded island. You have the two. Which one would you eat first?
Yeah, which one would you eat? Which one
oh
would you
shit!
eat?
Which one would I eat, the dog or the cat first?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
one would you eat
Oh,
first?
wait, are these my pets?
Obviously, the answer is the dog because the cat's not gonna allow that.
Right.
Unless you draw a circle.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy
Yes!
to me. It looks
It's gonna
pretty
work.
easy to me. Just put it in a
work.
circle.
I told you so. I didn't believe Miguel. He's like, oh yeah, do a circle with cat in it. Like, you're full of shit.
All
5
right.
minutes later.
You got some cats in there, right? Works every time.
Cats in the circle.
Guys, try it out. Make a circle. Cats will jump in.
Mm-hmm.
I think here I'm gonna make a case for cats. I think the cats are great. I like them a lot, and it's because cats are funny. They're actually funny. Dogs, they're not very funny. They're kind of like a yes man, but a cat is like he's kind of like I don't know. It's like another person. It really is. It's like they have a personality that's very easy to tell. You know, like for a long time, I didn't know whether Yuri knew her name. Like it was months. It was like months before I figured out that she did know her name.
And Yuri's your cat, right?
Yuri's
Your pet cat.
Yuri's my first cat.
Okay.
And like,
There she is.
no, that's Bagel. So like, so Yuri knows her name. She just chooses to not come to you. And that, so,
That's the kind of relationship.
That's the relationship.
and it's hilarious. I laugh all the time. Also, cats they're not very expressive. So like, I like to tell jokes to Yuri. And I'm all like, oh, that's not a good one. You just wait. I'll make you laugh one day.
So cats seem to have more personality, where dogs tend to be more.
Tend to kind of do whatever you want. You know?
Yeah.
It's a yes man. So, you know, like,
Maybe I just like that in a pet.
yeah. You just like a slave. That's
I mean,
yeah. Say that it's not that.
I think dog they enjoy being slaves.
Of course they do.
That's why they're the best.
well, I mean, it goes back to
The perfect.
It goes back to the wild versions of themselves. Cats in the wild, like tigers, they tend to be solitary animals.
Yes.
I mean, you have lions who have prides, but for the most part, they're solitary animals. Most cats. Or dogs were always pack animals, so they always look to somebody to want to follow.
Yeah, I know. You know, can you imagine that? Like the first guy that figured out how to get a dog. He must have been like a superhuman. For a wolf to be like, this guy's know what's going on.
I'm following this guy. That was a neat movie that they made about, like, you know, prehistoric human and befriending a dog.
10,000
out of
BC?
necessity.
Alpha.
Was that?
Alpha, right?
What
was
was that the robot dog? Alpha?
No, Alpha
Okay.
was the caveman where
Yeah, it's Alpha. It's Alpha.
I never
He's
saw
right.
it.
Dope.
Alpha. I liked it.
So it's kind of crazy also to think that like a Chihuahua evolved from a wolf.
I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
consider Chihuahuas to be dogs.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
technically,
it's not-
But science
is.
doesn't care what you
Yeah.
consider.
science
something.
doesn't care about facts. Don't care about my feelings. I get that.
So they did evolve from a wolf. Regardless, that still stands.
But my personal opinion, not based on facts, Chihuahuas aren't dogs.
They're the best.
The best dogs.
You can't really argue against those, you know, like the willingly ignorant thoughts. There's no way of fighting those, you know.
Willfully ignorant dogs.
Like, if that chihuahua is not yours, it'll fuck you up.
It will.
Like, it definitely will. Like, it doesn't give a fuck.
Look at that. We caught a cat.
In the circle.
I made a circle and then the cat's in there.
Nice.
All right, so I think we're the jury's split on
Yeah,
this one.
it is. I think it's like 2 cats, 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Janice, a maybe.
No.
All right.
Are you a cat?
She's gang.
I want both.
Pick one.
I can't.
Which one would you eat first?
Neither one. I'll just starve.
You'll just starve?
I think Janet with
And the cat would eat me and the dog wouldn't. So
No.
therefore,
And
cats win. Cats
dog
are
would
fucking
eat.
The
smart.
dog would eat the cat
The dog would
for
eat
eating
the
you.
I hope so. I hope they eat me.
Me too, if that makes them live a little bit longer.
all right.
Right.
So we're split on this. So what's
Okay.
next?
So, I mean,
We should take a poll of I'll try to make a poll and
All
I'll
right, so
send it to y'all.
So
Cats is dogs.
can we get our 10 listeners kind of chime in what
I think
they
cats are
prefer,
awesome.
cats or dogs?
Right.
cats are more fun.
I think cats are
We'll,
better.
we'll leave that.
So with Caesar's input, we get a 3-1 split. 3-2. I mean,
Well, it's because you never know what they're thinking. Like, look at him. It's like, what the fuck's going through his head? Whereas a dog, you look at a dog, you know what's going on.
yeah, like yep.
And I kind of like the whole, you don't know what's going on kind of thing, the whole mysterious kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. I get that.
Yeah. They definitely they have a mission, or it's a very personal mission. It's only for them. Like, they're not gonna take your feelings into consideration.
I feel like cats are more enlightened than dogs.
And if they just happen to love you, then
Yeah,
good for
job.
you. You
Yeah,
got
good
lucky.
job. You got double lucky. Sometimes you won't know for a while. Anyways, Alright, pick the next topic, por favor. Pick into the topic hat.
Looks like we're talking about UFOs.
Wasn't that like a big topic, or there's some guy who was on Joe Rogan's podcast who made a strong case?
Bob Lazar?
Yeah, I haven't listened to it, but he turned Joe Rogan into a believer.
Dang.
No way.
That's what I understood.
And
I
then,
also
like,
understood that.
I mean, if Joe Rogan's a believer, then it must be true.
so
He's the Oprah for men. All right.
It's an Oprah for men.
Yeah.
definitely.
That's perfect.
Yes.
I mean, can you say that's not true?
No.
No, we're gonna argue with you. So
The Marines, I think, or the Navy just released a bunch of transcripts that may include UFO sightings
Where'd you get this information?
from the last podcast on the left. So I mean, they are releasing statements saying, like, when you're on a ship, you're out on a boat, months at a time sometimes, and you're like in undisclosed places, and like people just see the craziest shit out there, like in the sky and in the water.
Oh yeah, I'm a lot more scared of what's underneath the water. Like I would be more scared to be like deep down in the sea than I would be in space.
Right, because there's lots of things down there.
I feel like with these UFO sightings and UFO,
I've seen UFOs, by the way. Has anyone seen an actual sighting?
you've seen UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you elaborate? Because I really want to hear this.
Please, no, continue eating.
So, yeah, one day on the way back from work, we were driving down, and then we saw these things in the sky.
Okay, wait. Where did you work, and where were you driving from?
Baybrook Mall was driving towards downtown.
Okay, got it. Houston.
Yes, Houston.
You were driving north.
Driving north, yes.
Okay, go.
Where in the sky above me, I saw like there was like these two things that were just standing there, and it was lights. And at first I thought it was one of those like antennas that did like the lights.
Like cell phone.
Yeah, like cell phone
towers
antennas or something. And I was like, oh, okay, it's just that. But then like it moved. It was moving slowly, and then it like shot up. So it moved horizontally, and then it went vertically up. So it didn't stay in the same spot. And that's all I saw. But I've just never seen any other aircraft that had moved like that before.
Like really fast.
Yes, and there was like 2 or 3 of them. It was multiple in synchronicity.
Okay.
Not like perfect synchronicity, but they were there. Like like all 3 of them did the same motion.
You know what's funny about that? I've seen the same thing.
Have you?
And that same sky over 45.
Did y'all see it at the same time?
Probably not, because I saw it a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But like it was I saw like 3 or 4 lights that were vertically in order,
Mm-hmm.
and they also kind of did that same thing where they kind of all moved at the same time, but they moved horizontally. So what I thought was happening was it was airplanes landing at the airport at Hobby.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's probably what it is. I'm not gonna even say that it's a UFO.
Yeah. So I've heard that like humans are really good at dismissing things.
Right.
Like if there was a lion in your living room, because a lion doesn't go in your living room, you wouldn't recognize it for a while. Like it would take a second or two.
It's a fucking lion.
Yeah, but it doesn't go. Like you would doubt yourself before you would doubt that before you'd be like, oh, there's a lion. Instead,
I don't know, man.
I mean, how soon do you think that would happen?
So
I
is
get what
that
you're.
one of those where you open the door, you see the line, you close the door, and you take a second?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you open it again, right? You're just like, okay.
Well, let me just make sure that's what I saw. And
Right.
then do a quick peek and it kills you.
That one's it.
That's it. Oh, like I imagine something like that. Like you wouldn't imagine there to be a python in your living room, right? So if you saw it, you'd be like, oh, I think your brain would instinctively put something else there, like, oh, it's my belt, you know,
Yeah.
on the floor or
Yeah.
something. You wouldn't go with your first instinct, which is python or a snake.
Yeah, because you're so far removed from it.
So, okay, if there's a tiger or a lion in your living room, you think you just make like a circle out of something and it goes in there?
He'll fall in there.
You just put a circle, right? That seems to be a pretty efficient method. Catching felines.
So I used to be a goddamn scaredy cat when I was a kid, like a huge one, and like I'm sorry, I don't know what's distracting me.
Okay, so you're a scaredy cat as a kid.
Yeah, I was a big scaredy cat as a kid, and one of the things that would happen a lot is that I would just hear and see shit a lot, and I would just like, especially in the Dominican Republic where like lights just go out randomly in the middle of the night. You know, I was like playing Nintendo, and then the lights would go out, and then I would be by myself in this giant ass house, and I was just like, oh, I am very scared. So I would just like run places. And like, you know, like I remember like always hearing like dishes being like banged and stuff like that in the house where I knew I was by myself. Doors being closed. And all of this stuff was just things where I was like, oh man, I'm so fucking scared. You know, you get so scared you start crying. That's how scared I would be. I would just like immediately just start tearing up because of how scared I was.
Oh my god, that sounds awful.
It was bad. And like and like sometimes, you know, like there was like a time when like my grandma was just like, all right, because I was a kid at the time, she was like, all right, you're gonna have to sleep in your own room now. And I was like, no, please. It is so scary here. And so I ended up like, you know, being in my room a lot, and then like being scared of thinking of hearing and seeing things. And it ended up to the point where like sleeping was like a hassle, where I would just be like, I will not go to sleep. I am not going to sleep. All the way to the point where I'm all like, fuck it, kill me. I'm going to sleep.
Kids' logic is great. Kids'
I'm
logic.
all like, well, it's too late now. If you kill me, I won't care. The joke's on you.
I'm skeptical of most UFO sightings, because it's like a lot of that stuff can be explained somehow, and then I feel like there's not enough like hard evidence to prove that it's something other than a natural phenomenon or occurrence or something like that. But I'm not saying I'm not discounting that aliens exist or something like that. I don't know one way or the other. I've heard some cool theories.
Okay, so do you think aliens have visited us?
Like I said, I have no idea. I'm not saying yes or no. I just have no idea.
Okay, you know you know what that is?
What is that?
That's called fence sitting.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you're sitting on a fence. You're like, well, this side's hot, but this side's also hot. I guess I'll just stay in the middle and I won't be wrong.
Okay. So
make a logical choice.
So I've heard it said where like all these pyramids around the world, you know, were built at a time when we had very limited technology and limited means to construct it. And maybe like aliens had a hand in that.
These are mega structures?
Did you learn this from the History Channel?
Wow, maybe.
Ancient aliens.
Maybe.
My man was watching Ancient Aliens.
I'm not a Rockefeller, so I don't have cable. So I don't have the History Channel. But I'm sure some of these ideas from the History Channel filtered their way into the internet. Or the History Channel got their stuff from the internet.
So you watched it kind of like secondhand Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard your friend talk about it, and you were like, yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Or YouTube videos. Probably got it from YouTube videos.
Right.
That's probably where I got it. Because, like I said, that's free. Unlike internet, you rich people, you. But like, for a while, I was like, man, that is totally feasible. Like, how did we build, you know, pyramids or make these great structures But then I've heard historians say, "Oh yeah, it was totally possible through these methods." So
I mean, there's a couple of things, onto that. Like, one, it could be that the aliens are us.
I've heard that too.
Those ancient megastructures that you've seen are not necessarily built by like old civilizations, but like a technological civilization that we've once lost. So like that civilization that and I'm talking, I'm like going off of it's called Magicians of the Gods. It's the name of the book, and Grant Hancock, he talks about.
Oh
this.
man, he was on the Joe Rogan.
He
podcast.
was on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's how
multiple times.
Are you a Joe bro?
I guess I am.
I'm
I guess
Joe.
I am. I don't know. I never heard that term, but
Really?
I'm not gonna.
How about Road
deny
Dogg?
it. I sure. I mean, he's not the only podcast I listen to, and I think he's wrong on some things, but
Like what?
Like
don't
Ancient
know.
Aliens?
I hear. I don't know. I'll have to gather those thoughts and put them on paper.
I saw the Bernie podcast recently. I don't know, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Was it?
I thought it was.
Does Bernie believe in aliens?
Yeah.
I don't think he does. But
Illegal.
okay, so yeah, Hancock believes that there was once like really ancient civilizations that we just have no idea about because somehow it all got wiped out.
I mean, yeah. What would remain? Steel doesn't remain for very long. Maybe iron might remain, copper might remain, but like those type of things.
You're talking about what in what scenario?
like stone remains, like
Like in a world wipeout scenario or something?
yeah, like things
Like a big natural disaster.
Oh, what about
What would still be around? Because
I
they
mean-
didn't make plastic back then.
Okay, so there's still like, how can we find dinosaur fossils, but we don't find any kind of fossil remains of these kinds of
yeah,
things?
there are these mega structures.
Yeah, but this is from
That's from
historically
that's
a
from
civilization
recorded
that
history.
existed already in that area during that time.
No, these mega structures are put on them. Those are in this scenario. Those structures, like the towers and everything, got made.
Like pyramids were built on top of like structures that were already existing.
No, the pyramids were the structures that they built that remained, because everything else does not remain. I mean, think about it now. Think about like if a giant, like EMP hit, right, and then all of our technology went to shit, and it just. How much of our records will we actually keep?
Nothing.
We wouldn't be able to keep shit.
No.
And then books are like made with like paper, and paper doesn't last very long.
Maybe 100 years if that.
Yeah, and then we're talking about thousands of years.
More than that.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a timeline between when the last dinosaurs roamed and when the first early ancestors of humans remains were found. You're talking about that timeline where we haven't found any evidence of any other human life, right?
That's a big gap, that timeline.
It is a big gap, right?
Yes.
And the theory is that humans did not coexist with most dinosaurs,
Yes.
right? Like we rose because of the mammals after they became extinct. Okay, so
But
I mean there isn't anything else. There is evidence to suggest that we did somehow evolved, right? Because we're very similar
Yes.
to these fossils that we found like thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
But what you're saying, what if there was something else before?
No.
Similar to humans?
Well, what I'm saying is just like the humans and things that came out around that time, like this, they. Even if we found the remains, we wouldn't be able to find the remains of their works. Like doesn't matter how long it's been. I mean, anything that we have built right now, most things are not built to last, and the things that are built to last, they do, and they're usually made out of stone, and those things are all over the world, and they have like within the last 10 years, they have had to backdate a couple of these structures from the time that they thought that it was. So they thought because they do it through carbon dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you check how old a structure is. You check on the carbon, and then you see the half-life of that, and then you're like, all right, you make the math, and you're like, all right, it's this old. But that's only up to whenever that piece of carbon actually came onto that. Stone doesn't have its own pieces of carbon. Those are just like materials that got put on it. So whatever the oldest thing is that was alive around that time, that's what we can actually measure. So there's no.
So it's hard to tell from stone.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the stone itself
But
how
it's more
old
possible to
something
tell with fossils.
Exactly.
And
So-
we don't have very much fossils from prehistory. Like
Humanity.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would bones fossilize and last? They turn to stone,
Well,
and why wouldn't they use stone if that's what was available?
What is
That's
that?
all we have available is what is on the earth already.
Yeah, but what are you talking about?
You're saying that stone is the only thing that lasts, but I think that. Hold on a
I'm
second.
saying that the stone cannot connect itself.
we can't date stone.
You can't date
because
stone.
it's existed like forever.
Yes.
But like a person's bone was created at a certain point in time, and when
Which
that
is-
becomes a fossil, then you can
date back to that time.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's how far our dating can go. We cannot date further back. So like what the theory is that something crazy happened. Most of civilization was
Wiped
wiped
everything
out.
out.
Yeah, and then I mean the pieces of the civilization that were left, like the amount of civilization that was left could not hold itself. Even if they could have hold themselves just a little bit, like the 2,000, the 3,000 people that got left, right?
There would have been bodies, or there would have been something to show that they were.
There are bodies. There's a whole bunch of dead bodies.
No, but here's
Yeah.
the thing, and Graham Hancock, he explained very well that a fossil is it's like a unicorn, where a lot of things have to go right for a fossil to happen. So when you find a fossil, I mean, it's like, man, you got lucky. So it's not like everything and anything became a fossil. Like, so at a point maybe that this natural disaster happened, it's possible that the conditions weren't right for whatever remains to be fossilized.
Right.
That's true. We don't have all the humans. We don't have the bodies of all the humans.
We just have the ones that got put in the scenario just perfect for it to become fossilized and us finding this.
And that's just like dinosaurs in some kind of a
Yeah,
prehistoric.
if not, there'd be a
humans.
shit ton of dinosaur bones and a shit ton of human bones that are really, really old, but we don't have those.
So bottom line is that maybe what we consider to be like from aliens is maybe from a prehistoric civilization.
A prior
that we have no idea
advanced
about.
technological civilization, and there's a lot of like evidence to show that that we were advanced at some point. I mean, and if you think about it, like in the cosmic sense, it makes more sense. It makes more sense that humanity had gotten the shit beat out of them a couple times. I mean, how is it that we haven't gotten hit? We've almost killed ourselves multiple times. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other shit.
The Cold War, that was a close one.
Yeah, so like, now I'm gonna go ahead and do a hard right, and say that I think the alien life could also have come from outer space and isn't here, and it co-inhabits with us
Yes.
Mushrooms.
as mushrooms.
Oh. I can see that as a possibility.
Mushrooms.
Yeah,
Well, look at things that are alive that don't really resemble anything else around the world, like a jellyfish. I mean,
I want to point out that mushrooms are their own phylum. They have they're their own species.
It's his own domain.
Yeah, it is own domain, right?
Yes.
So there's nothing in the world that's like a mushroom,
Right.
but all the other things can connect. So they can trace humans back down to like the point where like vertebrates and non-vertebrates came together, and I think that they can even trace it back down all the way to the cell,
The single cell.
the single cell, point. But they cannot do that with mushrooms. Mushrooms did not break off from the same spirit of life that happened with humans.
There's just like different phylos of them, and then they behave differently, and then they even reproduce differently, and then they're saying that they've never witnessed almost all mushrooms can reproduce sexually and asexually, except for one of them. They've never been able to observe it. Do one of them, and I forgot what it was.
What a prude.